Another case that's going on right now that has been catching my attention is a YNW Melly case. YNW Melly, for y'all who don't know, is a rapper by the name of Jamel Demus. He got caught back in 2019 of a murder of his two friends, YNW Juvie and YNW Sack Chaser. The rapper was made big hits such as Mixed Personalities, Suicide, Blue Balenciagas, and more. Was found guilty not found guilty. He was actually caught and apprehended in 2019, early 2019, back in February. And the case just went to trial back in early July. And what's really interesting about this case compared to other cases, other murder cases by rappers, such as Tay-K, such as K-Flock. With those rappers, you had an abundance of evidence. With Tay-K, he cut off his ankle monitor. He had a music video by the name of The Race where he basically talked about the murder, and when he went on the race, when he cut off his ankle monitor and he was caught in Brooklyn. You have K-Flock on 4K wearing chains and wearing all of this designer stuff on camera. So that's just substantial evidence. But with Melly, on the other hand, Melly, no one's telling on him. They brought a witness to the trial, and he said that Melly changed clothes after the murder. They saw him in a different pair of clothes after the murder, but that doesn't really give you enough evidence to charge him with murder. They're also trying to bring up the fact that he texts his mom a certain way by cursing at her, doing all of this. And if he texts his mom all of this cursing and derogatory language, what makes him think that he'll care about killing his two friends? The defense, Melly has a great defense team, by the way. But Melly's defense team was saying, like, you can't use that because the jury, with being a jury, you cannot have any biased opinion towards nothing. Just because he texts his mom a certain way, you got to look strictly at the evidence that is presented to you. You can't just be like, oh, he texts his mom a certain way, why would he care about his friends guilty? Nah. So the judge his defense was trying to tell the judge that they need to have a mistrial because of that. Even though the judge denied it, that was still a great point that you can use towards the case. Another thing that the prosecutors tried to do, they tried bringing up YNW Melly's Murder on My Mind lyrics in the song, but they can't even use that in court. The judge said you cannot use that in court. So with that in mind, they really don't have nothing on Melly, to be honest with you. Do I personally think that he did it? I personally think that he did it, but there's not enough evidence for you to charge him with murder, double murder of his two friends. Now, granted, the only thing that you can use is the phone text messages. So maybe in the jury, since they denied it, they can use that and be like, oh, he doesn't care. But at the end of the day, is that enough evidence to prove that you committed the murder? They couldn't find the murder weapon. The murder weapon is still nowhere to be found. Number one, like I said. Number two, they can't use Murder on My Mind. They can't use the lyrics that are in the song. That's number two. Number three, his brother, YNW Bortland, ain't telling on him. No one's telling on him. Nobody's telling on him. The witness that they did bring was in the other car. All four of them went to the studio with the witness to have a 12-hour session. But after that was done, he was in another car with another group of people while Melly was in the other car shown in the video. So he couldn't get a clear cut shot on, hey, he killed the two people that was in the car. He just can't. There's no evidence towards him actually committing the murder. So unless the jury, as of right now, because this is an active trial and there hasn't been no trial going on, and it's not going to go on until Monday. So as of right now, with the evidence and the information from all the witnesses that has been provided, the only thing that they can use, which I feel like is BS, is the text messages between the mom and the fact that he changed clothes after the murder and left with Fredo Bang, another rapper. But to me, that's not enough evidence. Is that enough evidence to y'all? Well, all these other rap cases that have been going on, for an example, the Young Thug case, which we'll get to in a second, there's evidence. People are snitching on him. People are snitching on all of those rappers. Tay-K, like I said, substantial evidence. From cutting off his monitor to a whole aggravated assault case, there's evidence in that case. With K-Flock, 4K video, 4K picture of what was going on. There's evidence in that case. With YNW Melly, there's little to no evidence in the case that can definitively say that, hey, he committed the murder of his two friends, YNW Juvie and YNW Sack Chaser. Little evidence. You can't just go based off of lyrics, because everybody's going to talk. You got rappers out here that talk about murder, but they ain't even like that. Everybody's going to talk about something. Some just going to talk about one thing that maybe they're about. Some may talk about that same thing and they're not about it. It just depends. But everybody's going to talk about something. But these rappers nowadays will talk about killings and they're not about killing. It just doesn't make sense. But with Melly, in his defense, his great defense in my opinion, I think he'll get off. He'll either get off or not be charged with first degree. He's not going to take a plea. He's not going to. Because he can tell that they don't have enough. There's videos of him laughing, literally laughing in court. Him and his lawyers laughing in court. So with them laughing in court, that just shows to everybody watching the case, like myself, they don't really have enough evidence on him. They don't have enough evidence on him.